Hey guys, before we get started, we want to shout out all of our awesome partners, including Hicks Chiks, Trinity Medical, Gregg Vet, Magnolia Bluff Casino, Weeks Furniture, and all of the awesome partners that you see on the screen right now. Make sure to do business with them, and we hope you enjoy the show. Hey guys, Ronnie Calhoun here with Miss Lou Champion Spotlight with another episode of Champion Sports Talk with my buddy Joey Mart. How are you?
Glad to be here, and man, doing good.
Yes, indeed, man. We're here at Magnolia Bluff Casino in the beautiful Playmaker Sportsbook restaurant here, as always. And as always, we're driven by Sango GMC. So, man, we got a lot going on this week. But before we get started, thinking about our military guys and gals around the world, thinking about you, Jessica Anderson from the casino team. Hope you're improving and getting better every day. And also wanted to say to the Bryan family over in Concordia Parish that we are praying for Lily Ann. She's back at St. Jude. She's got some complications going, and they're asking for prayer. So just want to let them know that we're thinking about her. And that's a sweet girl, man. She's been through a lot, and
man, a lot of just tragic things going on right now.
And we just we're praying for her, and she's in a good place. They'll take good care of her. Man, we got a good show today. We got my buddy and your longtime buddy, Coach Robert Sanders from Vidalia High, state championship winner. That'll be fun. We'll have him on in a few minutes.
3A, that's even more impressive.
Yeah, and then we'll get to the local sports in just a second. But I feel like there's a lot that's happened since last week. You got Pete Carroll's out. You got LSU's defensive coordinator. Woke up this morning, Bill Belichick's out. And is that it?
I can't think of anything else that might
have been it. I think there was another coach that might be out.
You think?
I just can't remember who it was. Wait, is there a guy in Alabama? What's that guy from Alabama? I think he might be out.
A guy named Saban or something.
I think he is. I think it was.
Well, that came out of nowhere. What was crazy is he was part of the SEC teleconference that morning.
I read that he interviewed coaches to be on his staff for next year, all the way up until like he interviewed coaches and then just said, "All right, I'm out."
Yeah.
That makes no sense, but it's typical Saban.
As controlling as he is with this NIL and transfer portal, it was just, I think it was a matter of time.
Yeah.
Before he said, forget it.
Yeah, I mean, we've talked about it many times, but I don't know who would want to be a college coach right now.
Right,
I mean,
exactly.
it's a disaster.
It is.
So it's we'll talk a little bit more about that later, but what are we looking like on the local scene?
Okay, well, basketball, more basketball. And Vidalia High, and Coach Sanders, we'll talk with him later about the great games. Tuesday night, the Vidalia boys defeated Faraday 57-49. It started out, it was like 3-3 halfway through the first quarter. And I think just the atmosphere probably got a little bit to both teams. And it took them a while. It was packed and loud.
And that was which state?
That was at Vidalia.
At Vidalia, okay.
Yeah. And man, Amari Lewis had a dunk that just set the place on going crazy. He was fouled on the play too. But good job by Vidalia, and certainly Ronald Ellis made his first start at Vidalia a good one. He's kind of like a spark plug, I think, for the team. He brings that spark that I think they need, just somebody with a lot of energy. So I think that's a great addition.
Is that his first game with them?
Yes.
Coach can speak on this better than me, but to be a first game with somebody, I mean, you can take a lot of talented players, and it doesn't always work out.
Right.
To come in on the first game and make an impact, to me, that's a pretty big deal.
Yeah. I think the fact he knows a lot of these kids and plays probably with them a lot probably helped a lot.
Yeah.
But Lady Vikings defeated Faraday 66-37, and biggest margin ever by a Vidalia girls team over Faraday. I went crazy trying to call Lisa Abram at Faraday, the coach now. Joan McFarland used to be the coach at Faraday, and she said it was before her. And while we're mentioning prayers and stuff, her husband, James McFarland, who coached football at Faraday, he's at Baylor Hospital. He has some heart and kidney problems, so keep him in your prayers. I talked to him yesterday. He sounded a little better, a little stronger, but still a lot of prayers needed
Yeah.
for him.
Okay. Well, thanks for mentioning that.
Yeah. And then I talked Lillian Johnson, you know her well,
Yeah.
obviously. She said, no, I don't think we've ever beaten them. As a matter of fact, I kept looking back, and the last I saw was the Lady Vikings beating Faraday 43-17 in 1984. And Lisa Abram was on that Vidalia team as well as Lisa Washington.
Okay.
So moving on, and the two teams meet again Tuesday in Faraday at Faraday Junior High.
Okay. I might try to make that one.
Yeah,
That'd be fun.
It was fun. It was
Yeah.
a lot of fun. Monterey split a pair of games with Rapides. The girls won 54-46. Boys lost 71-42. So that was the start of their district play. Delhi Charter swept Delta Charter. Of course, Delta Charter struggling, but just a whole lot of things going on, turnaround, and young players. And speaking of Delhi Charter, their football coach, Jeremy Foote, went to Riverfield. So that's a big move for them. Losing him, great guy.
That's big news for Delta Charter's district, right? Are they going to be in the same district next year?
I think Delhi Charter may be in Faraday's district next year.
Okay.
But it's still.
But that move impacts our Miss Lou area.
It does.
Yeah. Okay.
Of course, AC and Cathedral played last Friday. Tyson Young had 14 points, and Charles Brooks, Landon McGuire had 11 each as they beat Cathedral 50-33. Grayson Gay had 13 for Cathedral. And speaking of Charles Brooks, and this is a name I know Coach Sanders will know a lot. I didn't know till talking to David King Monday that Charles Brooks is Michelle Brooks' grandson. Michelle Brooks was a stud at South Natchez back in the day. So that was kind of neat to hear.
Okay.
The lady Wave defeated AC 44-29. Lily Bertelson, we've said her name a lot. She had 11 points. And Kinsley Young, who's been tearing it up, 17 points, 16 rebounds, 9 steals.
Yeah, she seems like a good player.
Absolutely.
I see a lot on social media. I follow all the schools, and I've seen her mentioned a lot. They've got a lot of good little players.
They do.
Yeah.
They do. Natchez High split with Florence, and then they've kind of been up and down, but they're still improving. The boys lost to Provine Tuesday, and they're 11-6 now. Natchez girls defeated Provine. They're 13-5. So, it's that time where everything counts. The last thing I want to mention is the Miss Lou chapter of the National Football Foundation and Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
Their banquet is going to be February 27th at St. Mary's Basilica Family Life Center. And I know in the past you haven't had a chance to go because that was always been the same night as your Brightest Stars. But it's different this year, and you need to go to it. It's
February
27th.
27th. That's a Tuesday night.
Yes.
Right? Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, Mr. Tony Byrne, actually, he texted me the other night and said, we got our meeting tomorrow. And with my work schedule right now, I haven't been able to make any. But Mr. Tony, if you're watching, keep texting me because I promise I'm coming.
I'll remind you about it. We'll have to ride over together. So.
Yeah, I definitely want to be a part of this in the new year.
Now, the speaker this year is going to be Steve Buckley. He coaches at Jones Junior College. He was an assistant for Curly Holman at USM and LSU. And, of course, he's from Natchez, went to South Natchez.
Okay.
So I'm excited to see that he's be coming back.
Yeah, good. Good deal.
And that's all I've got here.
Well, man, what we'll do is we'll take us a quick break, and we'll get Coach Sanders on the set, and we'll talk a little ball, some state championship
Yeah,
talk.
sounds great.
So we'll be right back after a quick break.
Hey y'all, it's Shannon and Ronnie with Miss Lou Champion Spotlight.
And we want to tell you about our awesome partners, Weeks Furniture.
Weeks Furniture has a friendly professional sales staff, and they're family owned.
Weeks Furniture carries Ashley, Liberty, Craftmaster, and many other top brands.
They showcase a variety of living rooms, dining rooms, bedrooms, home office, kids' bedrooms, home decor, and more.
They offer free local delivery, financing is available, and they will meet or beat any competitor's pricing.
Come see why Weeks Furniture has been serving the Miss Lou for almost 60 years.
Hey guys, Ronnie and Shannon here with Miss Lou Champion Spotlight.
And we're here at our amazing partners, Gregg Veterinary Hospital.
Gregg Veterinary Hospital has been providing comprehensive, reliable, cutting-edge veterinary services to pets in the Miss Lou since 2002.
They welcome pets of all shapes and sizes who are in need of emergency treatment or who require routine medical, surgical, and dental care.
Dr. Gregg and his team offer a long list of services, including in-house laboratory diagnostics, digital x-ray, soft tissue, orthopedic surgery, dental care, extractions, laser surgery, laser therapy, preventative health, and wellness plans.
And if you need grooming and boarding services, they do that too.
So call Gregg Vet today.
My name is Yvonne Ivory. I'm the lab director here at Trinity Medical. I have 40 years of medical laboratory experience.
Hello, my name is Mary Cubic. I am Trinity Medical Outpatient Specialist, and I've been doing this for over 40 years.
Our lab offers numerous services. We have an exceptional outpatient department. We provide phlebotomies and venipunctures for tests requested by physicians. Trinity Lab has the newest, most innovative equipment for specimen processing, yielding quick turnaround times for results. Doctors are able to diagnose and treat patients in a timely manner for faster healing. Our newest addition is our in-house microbiology department.
Hi, I'm Fayla Gidon, and I am the lead microbiology tech here at Trinity Medical. I have over 24 years of experience, and this is our brand new microbiology department. So if the doctors suspect infection, that's where we bring the cultures back here. We set them up on different types of media, depending on what type of culture it is. So if we have some growth, it'll be something like this. So we do some offline tests where we determine if it's gram positive, gram negative, and then we're able to set it up on our machines, and it's able to tell us the organism. It gives us an ID, and it also gives us a sensitivity, which shows the doctor what drug will treat the patient and kill the organism.
Here at Trinity, we are committed to providing excellent patient care and services to promote the healing of our patients and our community.
Hey guys, Ronnie Calhoun here with Miss Lou Champion Spotlight. I want to tell you about our awesome partners, J.E. Hicks Distributing Company, also known as Hicks Chiks. Hicks Chiks is a local, family-owned food distribution company that has been serving the Miss Lou since 1945. You already know they serve all of your favorite restaurants, but did you know they are also open to the public? Hicks has a variety of food products, including delicious heat and eat options like chicken and dumplings, white bean chicken chili, lasagna, and gumbo. They also carry a wide variety of seafood options like shrimp, crabs, tuna steaks, salmon, and catfish. And don't forget about their famous TNT burgers that are already pattied up for you and their amazing dessert options. So go see the awesome team at Hicks Chiks at 1380 Martin Luther King Jr. Drive in Natchez. Hicks Chiks, way more than just chicken.
Welcome to your new hospital, Trinity Medical. Located in Faraday, Trinity Medical is the only acute care facility in the Tri-Parish area. Here you will find an active pursuit of holistic health, a strong, honest group of clinicians, and a consciousness of others that transcends the 80,000 square feet committed to you and your loved ones. Trinity Medical. People you know, caring for people you love.
All right, guys, we are back with our friend, Coach Robert Sanders. How are you, Coach?
Doing great. How about you?
Doing good, man. Appreciate it. Glad to have you on the show. Me and you go back a long ways.
We really do.
You've been putting up with me for a long time. So you've been putting up with me since the 90s, I think.
You're a different person from what I knew back then.
Oh, wow. New segment.
Oh, man. Yeah, I was a knucklehead in high school, I think. I'm still a knucklehead in a different way, I guess. No, it's...
I don't think anybody would describe you that way this time.
No, we certainly appreciate you coming in, and we got a lot to talk about, so we'll just kind of dive in. I'll pass it over to Joe and
Yeah.
let you get the ball rolling.
Like I say, of course, what was it last year? I got with you and we picked your top 20 or 25 games.
Maybe 2 years ago.
2 years ago.
Yeah.
And yeah, we had a time with that. We had to keep changing it. And
We did.
You had some
Each
memorable
time-
games.
Each time I go back and look at it, I said, this game was actually better than that.
How far do you guys go back? You've been.
Ooh,
Back to when he was at the Democrat.
yeah.
So when
Back
I
in
first
the
started,
70s, yeah.
actually in the 90s, when I first started.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
So yeah, you were a Democrat then.
So,
And that was 90?
That
Yeah, it
was
was 90s,
actually,
yeah.
yep,
Wow. Yeah, so you guys have a little.
history.
Y'all have met before.
Yeah.
A couple of times. Had some great memories and not so great memories.
Oh, yeah,
right?
right. Those first 3 years were not so memorable.
Yeah.
Of course, you graduated in 1972
Correct,
and attended Southern Illinois
correct.
and long jump and the high jump, right? Earned your
Long
scholarship
jump
there?
and triple jump.
Triple jump, okay.
Right.
So, how did that come about?
Well, I changed my major during my sophomore year from accounting to physical ed, and the track coach happened to be teaching one of the classes that I needed for my curriculum.
Okay.
And he would put us through all these different events, and he said, "You need to come off the track." And the rest is history.
Wow.
Huh.
How tall were you back then?
I was about 6'2",
Okay.
so I grew a couple of inches after college. Yeah, unfortunately.
Huh.
Well, just amazing your record in 28 years and
28 years of coaching.
Right.
yeah, just and how many games was it? I don't know. I had that.
478 was a total wins. I think
Yeah, okay.
236 was a total losses.
Okay. Wow, that's just amazing. And of course, we got to first. Excuse me. First of all, I wanted to ask you, what was it like? You still do the film work
Still do film work. Still drive the bus.
for sure. Excuse me. So, what was it like watching the game Tuesday night? Does that kind of stuff make you miss it? More?
It does. It does. I was feeling it for the coaches and the players. I like that type of environment. It's like a playoff environment.
If you could just do the coaching on those particular moments, you'd probably still do it. It's all the other.
Yeah.
It's all the Mondays and Tuesdays.
Monday, Wednesday, and Thursday.
Yeah, yeah.
And some Sundays.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. But if you could just show up and coach a game, you'd probably still be in it.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
Now,
Happened to run into Mike Martin yesterday,
Okay.
and we talked about that very thing. You know, not missing the long hours, but just being able to put input. That's why we do miss.
what would you say is your that you miss the most about coaching?
The game plan, which includes practicing, but I don't miss the hours.
Yeah,
But game plan to put the next opponent,
scout house.
yeah.
Yeah.
Putting together a defense and of course an offense that might work against a particular opponent.
Yeah. So you like the X's and O's of it.
And you kind of got the lollipop during the game from Robert Cade,
I
right?
did. I got that from Robert Cade.
And you actually had people starting to give you lollipops,
Yeah,
right?
especially Lynn Bowman. He brought me a bag every game.
What's a lollipop? Coach.
Coach Cade used to do that on the sideline. He didn't have a lollipop. It started with a blow pop.
Uh-huh.
Then it evolved to I don't know what it's called now, but it's kind of candy only.
Okay. Yeah.
You may have seen them at
The little dum-dum thing?
No, the
Little
big
small-
ones.
Oh, the big one. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
for like $2 for $1.
Okay. Oh my God. Now I got to give my girl Robbie a shout out. I think that's her father.
Yeah.
And, yeah. That's right.
And which, speaking of, what's it like seeing Sean Davis on the coaching bench?
It's interesting. Sean is a lot different from what Coach Gregg was.
For sure. Yeah, he wasn't happy most of that game.
No,
Tuesday.
not at all. It started off.
They let him play Tuesday
Yeah.
night, which was really surprising to me. But wow,
You can't do that in a rivalry like that.
right.
That could get real bad.
Yeah.
Players were chirpy, fans in the stands were chirpy.
Yeah. Well, I want to ask, of course, you reached the finals in 2009, and y'all lost to Richwood.
Mm-hmm.
And so after that game, I mean, I know you had everybody coming back, but still, were you saying, "Oh, maybe this was my only shot to win it"?
No, I actually didn't. I had quite a few players coming back. The nucleus of it, I lost Jacob and Orlando Webster off that team
Mhm.
in 2009. But I really didn't think about getting back to the top 28. It just sort of happened that way.
Yeah.
But I was glad it did, and the players were excited. They said they would get back there, and they did.
Yeah,
We
and that experience probably helped you.
It did. We had a few non-basketball related activities that happened that weekend of the state championship game. So, it's not all physical. Sometimes it's mental.
Oh, absolutely.
So,
yeah. Hey, I've actually got the both years.
do you? Yeah. Okay.
Score.
Wow.
Yeah.
So, man, let's talk about you.
So let's go to that first year real
Okay.
quick. So when you got to the championship game, that was your first experience in making it all the way to the championship game, right?
My first experience making it all with the
How was
championship
that
game.
as a coach? Trying to
But-
keep your players in line and
but-
for you yourself.
Prior to that, we had made it to the top 28 in 2003.
Okay.
So that was an experience because
Right.
even though I had been there as a fan, I'd never been there as a coach. And we went through some issues. We played the first game of the tournament that year.
Okay.
So we had some timing issues. Like we got there a little late, even though our sponsors didn't help us with that matter.
I remember.
We had the same sponsors all 3 years too, but they didn't help us along with getting on to the court at the right time. So that was a different stage for us.
Yeah.
So it was an eye opener,
But that 2003 class, football, basketball, and baseball was
Right.
unreal.
right? And that 2003 team, the class that they would get back the following year was they made it back to the quarterfinals. And I don't know if you remember, Joy, but Fort Berry was our opponent, and they were allowed to get in the gym before our fans were.
Yeah, they actually in the parking lot most of the day.
Before, yeah. So that was a home game for them
Where was this played?
in Vidalia.
Every day, yeah. And they brought tons of. I think they even tailgated out in the
Right,
parking lot.
they did.
during
Look,
the game.
that's South Louisiana folks. I live down there. I got a lot of friends, but they're off a little bit. Like,
And when they told half of them they couldn't come in there, ooh,
yeah, they're off
Security.
a little bit. They yeah.
I said Fort Berry, but it was Bill Platt.
Bill Platt,
Still
okay.
play. Oh,
Yeah.
Still,
Still South
still
Louisiana.
there.
yeah.
But you've had Port Barry. I remember you've had some.
Yeah. Well, we beat them.
Yeah.
Yeah. They had won state in football, and then they came to us in the quarterfinals, I think, or the second round, and we beat them. So,
So you had some experience in 2003 that kind of helped you
right.
whenever
Right.
it's 2009. So
Right.
6 years later, you're back.
Exactly.
And that experience from 2003, you think how did you handle 2000? Did you handle 2009 and 2010 the same, or did you do anything different?
I handled 2009 differently from 2003 in that I went down the day before.
Okay.
2003, I went down the day of, which was a mistake.
Okay.
2010, I didn't tell people where we were going to stay because everybody was trying to stay at the same hotel as we, and that was a big distraction.
Okay.
So that helped a lot too.
So each time you learned
Yeah.
something new. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
In 2009 and 2010, we were allowed to practice at Northside, courtesy of Natchez native Cordell Bailey.
In 2009, what was the score, Joey?
2009, it was Richwood 75, Vidalia 61.
Okay.
In that game, we were down 20 points at halftime. We actually got back to within 3.
Oh man.
But the people I used to get back into the game, they were all exhausted. So I had to sub for them. When I subbed for them, we lost that momentum.
So then 2010, you came back, and what was the score? of
And
that
Richwood was
championship game?
actually the coach's wife went to Faraday, right?
Right.
So that was really interesting. I don't
Yeah.
know if you remember Terry Martin, who played at LSU.
I don't know.
His dad, who was it?
ULM.
Played at ULM?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, which one went to LSU then?
Oh, you talking about the son?
Yeah.
The dad played at ULM, which was Northeast at the time.
Mhm.
But yeah, his son did go to.
Yeah, he went to LSU.
Yeah. Okay.
So that was kind of a neat little.
Right.
So in 2010, you came back, and it was what? Is that what I'm looking at right there?
Yeah, playing Carroll. And everybody was just sitting
82.
there stunned because y'all came out like a house.
What's
to
that say? 82.
82-59.
So you guys killed them.
Yeah, I mean, it
It was actually worse than
State
that.
championship game.
It was actually worse than that.
Wow.
And we started 7-2, and they kind of.
yeah. You
Scored a few
outscored them
points.
29-13 second quarter.
Yeah.
And, man, it was just, you were on. It was
But if
just,
I'm not mistaken, they jumped out to an early lead, like 2 or 4 points. And I thought to myself, here we go again. We regrouped, and
Gary Stewart had 16 points. 16 rebounds, and he had 17 points. Quattrell, a lot of people forget about Quattrell, but
Right.
he was a big weapon for you.
He really was.
He had 18 and Torrey had 25. What's kind of neat about that is that Gary ended up being player of the year in 3A, right?
Right.
And Torrey could have been just as well.
Well, Torrey was player of the year that year, but he wasn't player of the game.
Okay.
Gary was player of the game.
Okay.
Torrey was player of the year.
Yeah.
But Gary was player of the year before.
Okay.
Player of the year for the district or for the state?
For the state.
Wow.
How tough
Big
was that?
accomplishment.
It
Yeah.
was.
And man,
And I was coach of the year that year.
Wow.
That's
For the
right.
state?
That's
For
right.
the state.
Wow.
And man, to see Torrey just have his college career cut short,
Right.
man, that was tough because I really believe he could have been a
No,
force on the
I
next
think so
level.
too, right. And he didn't stop playing, even though the doctors
Yeah.
didn't clear him to play in college anymore. But
He was actually trying out at Baton Rouge Community College with LSU coaches
in
in
attendance,
attendance.
Right.
What, he just kind of collapsed, or
he had scored a basket and was backing up to go back down court to play defense and just collapsed.
yeah.
Wow. And that would have been John Brady's days. That was whenever they had some pretty good teams.
Yeah.
Those couple of the Final Four runs. So for them to be there looking at him says something.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Wow. How is he today? I mean, is he
He is working in Baton Rouge, as I understand it. I don't know exactly.
He's a car salesman.
Yeah.
health wise? He's
Yes.
Seems
he's
to
good.
be. Like I said,
Yeah.
he
But-
didn't stop playing basketball. He's just like a friend of mine. In junior high, David Hewen,
Uh-huh.
senior.
Boone, uh-huh.
His dad.
His dad. Okay.
Yeah, he had a heart murmur, and he had to stop playing school ball because doctors wouldn't clear him.
Wow.
But he didn't stop playing. We played semi-pro over here.
So how many grandkids or kids you played did you coach? Any?
None.
Okay.
I was about to coach Ronald
Okay.
Jr. the year I retired.
That's
so this is a
awesome.
good time to get out. Huh?
Yeah.
Well, talk about that for a second. Here comes a kid who's obviously very talented,
Mhm.
coming into a good team. How tough is that for a coach to
There you
manage that?
It's pretty tough. I think Ronald was senior, was level-headed enough to know that I wouldn't show him any favoritism.
Yeah.
And I didn't show Ronald himself any favoritism because he's the son of my classmate.
Oh, wow.
But he started as a freshman with Prentice and David Hewen.
Okay.
So
That was a good team
yeah,
right there.
it was. I think if the alignment had been like it is now,
Mm-hmm.
even though that was my first playoff team and we made it to the second round, doing some upsets, I think we would have gone further
Okay.
than we did.
What was your favorite place to play at?
Vidalia High.
Hey, as far as going on the road,
Well, that's hard to say.
Madison certainly had to be up there,
It wasn't my favorite.
huh? Well, I'm just talking about atmosphere.
Yeah. Atmosphere-wise, that's what I'm saying. Because it was like Tuesday night there.
Yeah.
There's
And
always chippy.
always loud fans, and they always play the jukebox during timeouts and halftime, so you couldn't hear yourself
Wow.
think there. But I guess my favorite place to play would have been Faraday or Natchez.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That makes sense. So, what was it like working all those years with D Fair Club?
It was great. They taught me a few things on non-basketball things, on how to discipline and things like that. So yeah, I actually saw him during the Christmas break when I was ringing the bell at Walmart. He came by. Fred Marcellus and I were there, and he came by and talked for at least 30 minutes.
Yeah.
Oh, you did good.
Yeah.
Oh, man. I thought you were going to say at Vidalia Market on Friday. Somebody said, man, I'd love to see Coach. I said, well, get over to Vidalia Market that Friday. He's going to be over there getting his fish Friday.
All right.
Yeah.
He actually revealed to us, though, that he's there every day at lunchtime.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I thought I'd run into him yesterday, but I guess he had been there already.
He's probably, yeah.
Well, talk about your school bus driving days. I mean,
Well, one of the conditions that I would take the job as Vidalia High was by Mr. Sud was that I would drive the bus, which I thought was odd. I was like, why are you making me drive the bus? Nobody else did. But it proved to be beneficial because, especially on weekends and during the summer, it's hard to find a driver. And
Yeah, there have been many games where teams been late.
Right.
because of that.
and some teams are late because they use route drivers and
okay.
or a route bus.
Yeah.
They had to wait until the route was over. But
Wow.
that's one thing that we have. We have activity buses. Although there have been a few occasions where our buses have gone on field trips and not gotten back in time, and we've been late.
Yeah.
But
And you've driven through some pretty scary situations at times with weather and other stuff.
right, and breakdown. Before we got the buses, the current buses that we have, we used to break down at least once. I remember one time we were going to a waterproof to a tournament, and Charles, what's Charles' last name? Super Chick, what's his name?
Chauvin.
No, not him.
Chauvin.
Super Chick, the official.
I know what you're talking about.
Anyway,
Yeah.
he and another official were on their way to the game, and they had to put our starting girls in the car so they could be there on time. We had to wait until they sent a bus back to pick us up.
Oh man.
That's quite a story. And I think I'll let Ronnie talk to you about the Special Olympics. That's so special to
Yeah.
both of you.
Yeah. Real quick before we get to the Special Olympics, I was just going to give you a chance to name. I know everybody likes to hear their name, and I was just going. Who are some of your favorite players that you coached throughout the years?
Willie Turner, who died recently a couple years ago. What's his name? There's a few in Faraday. Aaron Watson, the Jefferson twins from Faraday. They were all on my relay teams, my track relay team. And the one problem that I have about that, we never lost for our division a 4x100 meter relay.
Wow.
Really?
Yeah, and one year, Milton Green was our third leg, and he had the hardest time before the meet getting that exchange down. We couldn't get it for anything. The meet came along, it went as smooth as I don't know what.
Just like you drew it
Just
up.
like we drew it up. But back then, I only had 3 opportunities to coach the events in basketball: district level, area level, district level, and state level. So, but it did prepare me a little bit
Yeah.
for coaching in the future, although it wasn't as intense
Yeah.
as high school basketball.
So who did you follow today?
Thompson.
Philip Townsend.
Philip
Yeah.
Townsend.
Okay.
Who were some of your most talented players that you coached?
First one was Jermaine Williams, Jermaine Brown. You know him?
Yeah. Yeah. Good
David
football
Hill.
players. Well.
Right. All the ones I'm about to name were football players as well.
Mhm.
David Hewin Jr. and Prentice Jenkins.
Yeah.
I remember you asking me one time, was he my most explosive dunker?
Mhm.
Which I still think he is. Terry was a dunker.
Is that Prentice you're talking about?
Prentice, yes.
Yeah.
He would drive baseline, and next thing you know, it was a dunk, just like El Mari did the other night.
Yeah.
Terry was a dunker, but he was more finesse. Gary could dunk, even Cortez could dunk. Yeah. But this might surprise you. You remember PD?
No, yeah.
Yeah.
PD could dunk when we went off to
Yeah, he's so short. That doesn't
camp during the
surprise me.
summer. PD would get in the dunk
Petey.
contest.
Yeah.
Yeah, you remember him?
Uh-huh.
He could dunk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So those were some of your early good players,
Those were my early
and as you
As I went along.
you had a lot of good players.
Right.
Who were some of your?
Ronald and Tito, Jarvis Vaughn, Teddy Hargrave for a year. You remember him?
I did. Yeah.
He came over there from here for
Yeah.
a year, and then he came back.
Yeah.
Came over there, won all district, and went back.
Yeah.
He was very helpful at the time.
Mm-hmm.
His brother, Robert Rochelle Hargrave,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, was good too.
Yeah.
I know this player didn't want me to bring this up, but you remember that he played with David Ewing. He was also a football player who went to Tech.
Oh, Brian Bradford.
Brian
Brian
Bradford.
Bradford. Yeah.
We had a playoff game coming up. He waited until practice was over and I had gone home to come by and tell me that he was going off for a visit, college visit. It wasn't Tech either. It was to a school that was being coached by one of our local products. And he would have allowed him to come at a later date. We ended up losing that game in overtime to Notre Dame.
Yeah.
So
I haven't seen Brian in years,
I've
man.
kind of forgiven him for that.
So did you ever get to watch Ken Simmons' team?
I did. Well, when I was in high school, of course, I watched
Yeah.
some of his teams. And when I came back, I watched his state championship team. And when I come home for college, from college. But shortly after I got back, he went over to Trinity, came over to Trinity.
We got about 5 minutes or so left, and I wanted to, two things that I wanted to talk about real quick was the Special Olympics and you playing basketball overseas.
Okay.
Let's start with the Special Olympics. It's something that I've been fortunate enough to just be a very small part of for the last, I don't know, 5 years or so, and I really love that day. I love coming over there and just, it's something so special about it. And you started it, right? Is that, are you a part of
I
it?
did not start it.
You've been a part of
I've been
it?
a part of it
Okay.
since I started, yeah.
Yeah. Since you start, okay, yeah.
In 79. And
79, wow.
back then we coached multiple sports. We started with softball, boys and girls. Sometimes it was co-ed.
Yeah.
And we would go to volleyball, basketball, bowling, track and field. Some teams had boxing, we never did.
Yeah.
But they all went to state, especially track and field, which would be in May or June.
Yeah.
And going down to LSU or Southeastern was always fun.
Yeah.
Sometimes New Orleans.
And since you've retired, you still stay doing the Special Olympic, the Concordia Parish Special
The
Olympics.
Concordia Parish Special
Yeah,
Olympics. Sometime after Diane Bobel, who was our area coordinator, retired, things kind of went south. It wasn't as involved as it used to be. But Sue Ann Easterling helped me a lot when she was here. Now it's Crystal Tischler who helps out. So
Yeah.
Sue Ann took a lot of the load off when I started coaching in 91 rather. So that was a big help. But I would still just go to the events, but I wasn't on the major training part like I used to be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's such a. Have you been out to the?
I have.
Yeah.
It is neat.
Man, get all
You
the
actually got an
schools.
award. Was that 2 years ago? Or?
It was my retirement plaque.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just so fun to get all the schools together and all the different grades and just see all those smiles. And,
Yeah.
And
It is.
it's serious, but it's still a lot of fun.
Yeah, and they really get into it. Those
Yeah,
kids
yeah.
do.
I don't know if you knew about this, but last year we had a modified relay, and the girls went first. So the person in the second leg dropped the baton, but they didn't pick the baton up. They just tagged hands and ran that leg and came back. Then they got the baton. So me being the rule stickler that I am, I disqualified, and they didn't understand why.
Oh goodness.
Well, they were.
You have to have a baton.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. Well, and then lastly, you guys, you've got a group of guys that you've been going overseas and playing ball with for quite a while.
Since 2011.
Okay, tell us a little bit about that.
It started in 2009. Randy Smith, who was a sponsor of Richwood, talked to me when he found out we were from Natchez. He found out we were from Vidalia. He lives in Natchez and Lafayette. So
Yeah.
he asked me about playing overseas. And for one thing, I didn't know who he was. And going way away with a stranger would have been odd. Plus, I was 3 years removed from, well, actually, I was 1 year removed from having had head surgery. So I was afraid of playing there and getting injured again. So I didn't go that year. The next year, he asked me again because he was one of the hosts down there, and I turned him down. So I finally talked to Peter Arnold because we went to a camp at Cathedral. And he told me about Randy and how, nice guy and how good opportunity that would be. So I called Randy and said, Randy, I'm ready to go now. So, yeah. But I played that year, and the following year, I had rotator cuff issues. So I go to block the shot. It hurt so bad, they could see the pain on my face. So I had to have surgery that year. But I've been going ever since, up until COVID year.
Yeah.
They got canceled COVID year for 2 years. The year after that, a group of guys from the Miami area who play year-round went over and played. Then last year, we resumed going back over.
Okay.
was a split team though, because half of the team, the better players who play year round, went to Spain to play, and those of us who just played at that particular event, we came in second. But the team that beat us, we had beaten by 7 points earlier. So if they'd done a point differential, we would have won because they only beat us by 3.
Yeah. That's right.
Yeah, but they didn't.
You think you'll keep doing that for a little while? Or?
For a little while. We're supposed to go back again this year. Randy had surgery in November, but he'll probably still take us, and even if he's in a coaching capacity.
Yeah.
He said he has the flu and COVID also now.
Oh, wow.
So.
Well, if y'all need ball boys or anything, me and Joey are here.
There you go.
We tell pretty good jokes on the sideline.
Yeah. And the good thing about it, after we finished playing that weekend, sometimes we would go on to what's that place? One of our players is actually from there, Aberdeen. We would go over there and spend a day or two with him and go to his house. And he would cook for us, and we'd come back and fly back.
It's a great way to see the world.
Yeah, it is.
Get a little exercise, use your skills.
Something I never thought I'd be able to do. Yeah.
Yeah. Man, Joey, you got anything else for Coach?
Well, before we go, I got to ask you about your 49ers.
We stay healthy. I think we can do it this year.
Is that a prediction? Are we going all the way and winning it all?
If we stay healthy, yes.
You can't do the asterisk.
I was disappointed that we lost the game to the Rams, but I also understand resting the players.
Yeah.
But I was disappointed that we scored 20 points in the first half and nothing in the second half.
Yeah.
Just those 3 points made a difference.
Playoffs is a new season.
It is. Everybody's 0-0.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to spending a lot of time on the couch this weekend, and just I already told Melissa, I said, you got anything planned? I didn't even give her time to answer. I said, you got anything planned for this weekend? Because I'm not doing anything. so that first weekend of the playoffs is always so fun because there's so many games.
Right.
But I'll be pulling for your Niners since I like you, so I'll be pulling for your Niners.
Appreciate it.
We got quite a few Niners fans around here.
We do.
Yeah.
Mixed in with those Cowboys and St. Pete.
Oh, man, the Cowboys or something.
I was going to tell you, too, that if I got the memo, I'd have worn my 49er cap today.
I appreciate you, Coach, and I also appreciate you. We've got our Brightest Stars ball coming up. You've been a big part of that and been on our board since we started that in 2018, and I appreciate that. Appreciate all that you do in the community, and I mean, you've been doing stuff for the kids around here for so long.
My pleasure. I was talking to Sheila yesterday and asked her if she had gotten any feedback already, but she said she had gotten a couple.
Yeah, we've gotten quite a few through the email and everything, so we're rocking and rolling. We'll have to get Joey out there this year, too.
I tell this story. I went up, and there was something needed to be done, and he was sitting in that same spot by the stage waiting on the game.
Uh-huh.
And I asked him, and he looked at me and said, I don't work here anymore.
Oh, man. Well,
no, I don't, because you'll always be working there.
Yeah, that's what Coach West told me now. You're a legend. You're always here. And Coach Cooley always said that, too. Whatever you want. I get this question a lot. How are you enjoying retirement? I don't know. I'm not retired yet.
Absolutely.
Semi-retired.
And we're grateful for that.
That's right. Well, man, we got Craig coming on here in a second. But, Coach, I appreciate you coming on and spending a little time with us. And we'll get you back on sometime. And I'll see you at the Brightest Stars Ball, if not before then.
I think we have a meeting scheduled before then.
We certainly will. That's right. That's right.
I'm looking forward to that as well.
Yeah. So, Joey, I appreciate you doing all your research over there, man.
I appreciate him keeping me straight on everything.
That's right. We'll take a quick break, and we'll be right back with Craig. I'm going to let you handle Craig today. We'll be right back with Craig from the casino.
Tis the season to win our 40 grand dashing into cash and $10,000 New Year New Money grand prize. It's time to unwrap over $70,000 in winnings. It's always a good time. Visit MagnoliaBluffsCasino.com.
Welcome back. And we certainly had a good time so far. And I had to, unfortunately, pick the short straw, so I have to introduce Craig Jackson here as a sportsbook manager. And we love picking on each other, and we go a long way back as well.
Absolutely.
We're glad to have you, Craig.
Well, I'm glad you're wearing your Christmas hat.
Well, this is my victory formation.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Perfect.
I
Perfect.
got J-Mez ready to run it.
We might score. That's the best play they ran all year.
Oh man.
Which we'll hit on that again. That's an interesting topic.
Yeah, it is an interesting topic.
Has Allen lost the locker room, or is that something they can overcome? I don't think you can start purging players because then you start upsetting other players.
And
It's easier to purge a coach.
Jake and Aaron had Jeff Duncan
It's
on.
past
that.
time.
Of course, Jeff Duncan's close with the Saints, and he said, "I don't think so. I think it's being overblown." He said, if there was a problem with the team, they wouldn't have won those last 2 games.
I thought about that too. It finished kind of strong. It's hard to.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, it's Jameis.
Yeah.
How do you control him? But yeah, I mean, and he apologized, and I, maybe he wouldn't do it again. But I saw something where somebody showed Sean Payton, and like that never would happen with Sean Payton.
Yeah. Well,
But
it is what it is.
it is what
It was interesting.
But you know what's bad? I mean, there's apparently going to keep Dennis Allen and all those good coaches out there available now.
I know, man.
I don't know if it was, I can't remember which player it was or ex-player, but they came in and they were on team Jameson on
Mark Ingram.
it was Ingram.
Yeah.
Basically, he said it blank the Falcons. He loved it.
Jimmy Graham also. Yeah.
Well, whoever it was, one
Jimmy
of them.
Graham said that.
Yeah, he was
But,
like,
they both came out in support.
Yeah.
And this isn't high school. They're not going to circle the Saints for next year. They circle them anyway. They're in their conference. That's their natural
Dennis Allen
rivalry.
did not
That's not going to have any effect on.
He didn't handle it well. He just looked bad.
I think you have to move on from Allen, but I mean, I've been saying that since I may be picking on the guy because I didn't like the hire from day one, so I don't know if I'm being completely fair, but
That's kind of how I am with LSU men's basketball coaches. I watched the one they ran off, literally league McNeese now to like 13-2, including going to Michigan, Ann Arbor, and beating Michigan.
double digits.
Yeah, it is what it is.
Yeah.
Sometimes
They're
you
2-0 right now, so LSU basketball is 2-0 in conference right now. So, man, let's jump to this real quick because
Okay.
there is a lot of interesting sports topics that I want to talk to you a few minutes about. But before we do that, let's talk about what's going on with the poker stuff here at the casino.
Okay, well, what we have is we just have one poker table.
Okay.
And we play strictly no-limit Texas Hold'em. And it's $100 buy-in, $2 and $5 blinds. Now, some of y'all might be hearing this, and I might as well be talking geometry. But for those of you that like poker and whatnot, you'll understand. We have a bad beat jackpot, which is over $46,000. It takes aces full of jacks or better to win. Y'all both going like, yeah, that means nothing to me.
I like $46,000.
But I'll tell you this, I set the jackpot up, and it is the most lenient jackpot to hit in the state of Mississippi in a card room. The rest of them are definitely more aggressive as far as to how hard it is to hit it. So we do have a more lenient one. We have a great group of guys and gals that play, experienced dealers. We're open Thursday through Saturday. And the reason we're not open every day is because we've got a real small draw. And if we opened every day, we'd have just enough to maybe get a game one day and just enough the next. So we condensed it to where when the guys come Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, they know they're going to get some
they're going to get a good game.
Some poker in, and their wives will be happy. They're going at least 3 days out of the week. And, keeps their marriages together.
Yeah,
and
that's right.
So that's basically it in a nutshell.
Yeah.
And they're right here in the sports book, right to our right. So they have all the atmosphere of more TVs than any other bar in a 100-mile area with the food court literally right here.
Yeah.
So they get
Delicious
to eat at the
food, too, yeah.
tables. It's just a good setup.
Yeah. I took Melissa some of that stew from last week that we had left over, and she ate it. She was talking about it the next day. She was like, that stew was so good. So, I mean, the food here is really good.
Yeah, Chef Anthony, he's done a great job.
Yeah.
And continues to do a great job. So
Yeah. So we were talking about at the beginning of the show, we said Pete Carroll's gone, Belichick's gone, LSU defensive coordinator gone. And we were trying to think, is there anybody else that we're missing?
That's the ones that are actually good.
No.
I think, was there somebody ever in Alabama or something?
No, nobody
I
else.
can't remember.
I gotta ask you,
Just the GOAT.
what? I
That's
mean,
a shakeup that I didn't see coming.
yeah, you're right.
But Joey called it more. I completely missed it. I said he'd be like Bear Bryant. He would die. But
Well, I was actually, normally, we all have our phones on us a lot, and I was actually doing the one thing. I was writing some music with a buddy from Nashville. And when we do that, we try to put our phone at least away a little bit. And I saw it out of the corner of my eye lighting up, and I saw that it was Joey. And I said, well, let me grab this real quick. And Joey goes, you hear what happened? I was like, Saban retired. I was like, what? Like, of all the times that I went on top of things, but it came a complete shock to me.
it's the new age of college football. That's the only reason, in my opinion, he's been the most vocal, outspoken mainstream coach about the portal, the NIL, the lack of controls, NIL. And
Did you see him? And one thing they brought up is all these schools talking about breaking away from the NCAA. Could you see him running a new organization?
I still don't understand how the NCAA still has a foothold in the schools to begin with, because their only value that they used to bring was the oversight and the illegal recruiting and to try to keep the playing field balanced. But
Yeah, like they've done a good job of that.
they've always stunk at that. So
Yeah.
I don't even understand why they have the NCAA.
Let's see him around. Well, it'll be TV commentating or on a board somewhere. doing
I
something.
agree. He's not going to go
No.
home. Speaking of playing poker or something, his wife would definitely have to kick him out of the house 3, 4, 5 days a week, because that man is built different.
The NCAA, like the old joke, is like, well, Kentucky's, recruiting all these players, so we're gonna have to hammer Northern Idaho this year.
I want to ask you, Craig, what is that last week of the NFL like as far as point spreads and the unsurety? And
Well, this year it was a lot easier, because this year things were laid out pretty certain, and just about every game still had value. Just about.
yeah,
Most games still had where one team, even if they're already in the playoffs, could help their position, such as Detroit, which is, Tim bet on Detroit, didn't bet on it, but he picked Detroit, and Detroit had a lot to play for. The number 2 seed, possible home field if the number 1 goes down, and this year it was easier.
okay,
Some years it's a lot worse, but not a lot of major line moves, because they knew pretty much what quarterbacks would sit and which ones wouldn't.
gotcha.
And
That makes a big difference.
it is a big difference. Now the NBA is still crazy. Every day of the week,
Oh
you
my
don't know who's playing and who's not until after they tip off.
Right. I hate that in tournament stuff.
That's the craziest thing they did for whatever reason. They have something on their mind, but the line stayed pretty steady, more so than in a normal year ending. But now's the fun time. They set the lines now, and they're there. I checked the injury report. Other than Cleveland, obviously having their quarterback and running back out, Watson and Chubb, everybody's main players are playing, whether they're nicked up, hurt, or whatever. They're playing.
Yeah, it should be a good little run. We've got about 5 minutes here.
Okay.
Would you rather talk the bulk of that on NFL, or would you rather talk a little LSU with all the coaching changes?
A little bitty bit of both.
Okay, I'll let you lead here. What do you think on the LSU stuff?
Okay, so
The defensive
Kelly really won me over for another year for sure. I think he's a good coach, but I was scared he might be hard-headed, like Les Miles was hard-headed.
Yeah.
I mean, it was to the point to where he knew their offense was stagnant, but he was going to do it his way.
Yeah.
And we've seen guys, Jimbo Fisher, that was his downfall at A&M.
Yeah, no
I'm going to
doubt.
call the plays,
Yeah.
And to his credit, Kelly was quiet. They coached in the bowl game, then he just cleaned house.
Yeah.
And to me, that was wonderful, and I like that direction that we're moving in.
The recruiting has been on fire lately.
And all of a sudden, we're going to have some guys show up again next year that should have shown up big time this year, and it's going to be very, very good.
What do
from
you think
LSU.
about the defensive coordinator from Missouri? Do you know much about him?
I love it. Yeah, I think it's a great hire. What he did at Missouri with Les, the scheme he runs should fit perfectly in what LSU.
And what he did with the
likes to do.
linebackers whenever he was at LSU.
And absolutely, he set the stage for really great linebacker play and recruitment at LSU.
And the addition of Bo Davis is huge.
Yeah, I was about to say we got
goodness.
Bo Davis from Texas, which is
Just perfect.
which is going to be, and then they're talking about maybe Steeples, who was the defensive line coach from Missouri, coming to work with Davis.
and
they both working on the line. I'm like,
and if this
apparently we found some money somewhere.
and if this was the good old days, the addition of Davis, you would think of recruiting.
Yeah.
But the
Yeah.
portal and NIL
Yeah.
makes that still a very great. It's a great hire as a coach from a coaching standpoint. But it's hard to figure out now the added benefits because of the NIL
Right.
situation.
Hmm.
Who do y'all think is going to replace Bama?
I'm
Say,
hearing the Oregon coach is leading, Dan Lanning.
I've heard his name. I've heard Debo or
Sure.
Dabo. And I could see
Mike
Dabo
Norvel's
wanting
name.
to get out of
Well,
Clemson.
Dabo, that's been the talk for the last decade. When
Yeah.
Saban leaves, Dabo's going because he played football there.
It looked
He's
like
an Alabama guy.
until he got really good, kind of like Kirby Smart. There was
Yeah.
a time when you would think, well, Kirby Smart, Dabo was winning national
Yeah.
championships, so you wouldn't figure he would leave Clemson to go follow the greatest.
Yeah.
And then his program's falling off.
And the ACC in
It's-
general,
Yeah.
I mean, right now you're looking at, you got Big Ten and SEC. That's what it's coming to.
But
Pac-10's basically dissolved. ACC's sitting over here kind of on the side going,
the big
what about us?
the Big 12 is going to be the worst conference in football next
Yeah.
year.
Well, another name, and I think it's a very long shot, Kiffin, which would be interesting.
I hope they at least interview him so I can watch my Ole Miss friends go ballistically insane for a week or two.
Yeah, I'm checking just to see if they've hired anybody yet.
Look, they can't wait around the whole long
He said
time.
3 days. They
Yeah,
wanna do it within
so
3 days.
they've already got something worked out.
Well, Lanning was actually in Tuscaloosa.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I mean, he would be a great hire. They
Look,
would
I'm
have
looking at 11:02. It says breaking. Dan Lanning has announced he is remaining at Oregon.
Really?
remaining in Oregon.
Wow.
Now that was a $20 million buyout. Also,
Yeah.
I'm like, man, I know there's a lot of money floating around, but $20 million before you pay him his salary, like $20 million just to get him on campus before you even pay him.
Look at
Um,
here's the unattractiveness of the Alabama job. You're now entering a super conference, not just a conference, a super conference that just added two of the
Right.
top perennial top 10,
Yeah.
15 teams.
And
in
you're
the
following
country.
Nick Saban.
And you're
Yeah.
following Nick Saban. You got a double whammy, and you're going to have to play in that conference. I mean, if I'm at Oregon or Clemson, I'm staying put.
Well, the most interesting thing is the fallout. What players do they lose now?
Yeah, and I checked that late last night, and they'd already lost 17 or 19 guys to the portal.
mhm.
I don't know if they'll lose some additional, but
Yeah.
we know this. It's not a good thing for Alabama no matter what. But we also know the cupboards are full.
Right.
But
If you remember Lane Kiffin on the way out of Alabama, the behind the scenes stuff that who knows, message boards and stuff, but they were saying that he had burned some bridges, and he didn't coach the national championship game on his way out.
Wow.
They said no,
that's
just
a good
go,
point.
just go ahead and go.
Well,
And which was he was going to stay and coach, but they were like, no, just go ahead and go.
Norval's another name you have to look
So
at.
Norville is interesting. Now Kiffin, I think, would jump to go there
Yeah.
in a heartbeat. Although he's got probably his best team. Ole Miss is probably best team that maybe they've ever had
I agree.
in the history of their program coming back this year.
If
So-
they hold on to everything.
if they hold on to everybody. But anyway, let's switch over
Okay.
real quick and let's knock this NFL talk out because we got to get Tim on.
Sure.
Let's run through these games right here, and I'm gonna throw these games at you, and you tell me your 30-second
Opinion.
thought about it. What about the Browns and Texans?
Cleveland's overcame the injuries. I think they're one of the best teams in the NFL. I'm pulling for Houston. I like their young quarterback, but for some reason I see some destiny with Cleveland. But I am pulling for Houston.
Okay, you think it's 2.5 point Brown?
Yeah,
Brown
the Browns are favored by 2.5, and that's interesting on the road. Like records,
You feel like they'll cover?
backup quarterbacks and whatnot. That's why I'm almost not doubting them, because they shouldn't be favored. So they'll probably win.
Okay. This is an interesting game to me, man. The Dolphins and Chiefs.
I'm so disgusted with the NFL on this game.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
It's not going to be nationally televised.
Right.
You have to get Peacock, which is streaming service.
Yeah.
So take a casino like this. If we don't have a streaming service, if we did, no matter what, the streams are going to come in at different times.
Yeah.
No matter what. That's just the way bandwidth works. That's why DirecTV was allowed to hold on to the NFL packages in bars, casinos, things like that. The NFL sold their soul for the most attractive matchup for this first
They'll
round.
probably have the lowest
Prime
numbers.
time Saturday night for $110 million.
Yeah.
They let Peacock buy them out.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it just disgusts me. That being said,
Yeah.
I like Kansas City at home in sub very freezing weather, very windy.
Do you like them at 4.5?
I do, just because they're at home in some horribly cold, bad conditions where they've been before, and they love it like that.
I might be changing my pick now that you're changing my mind on me here.
I mean, I love the Dolphins team and their speed, but how much is that speed going to help when you've got a 22 mile an hour, -5 wind blowing in your face?
True.
You know, I like the big tight end versus the speed burners there.
This one was interesting to me because of the spread. It's 10 points spread for Buffalo favor. Buffalo and Pittsburgh. What are your thoughts on that?
Never doubt Pittsburgh. Never doubt that coach.
Yeah.
I think he's one of the best right now. Can't even believe they're talking about replacing him. And what are they thinking? I mean, the man's a winner, one of the best in the game, and I think they've got a lot to prove. Buffalo's playing the best football they played all year, but I would take Pittsburgh getting 10 points against anybody.
Yeah.
Anytime in the playoffs. Those dudes still play old school football.
That's where I'm leaning to. Cowboys and Packers, that's kind of your classic 1990s matchup. Two powerhouse programs. What do you see happening there? Cowboys 7.5 point favorite on that. Pretty big spread in NFL.
I mean, this is going to sound cliche. I think the Cowboys are either going to blow them out or lose. You know what I mean? I don't think they're going to win by 6 or 7.
Whichever
I
one
think they're going
shows
to win
up.
by 17, or they're going to get upset.
It's usually if Dak's on or not.
Yeah, and Green Bay's obviously playing good football, and interesting to see them in the playoffs where they're at. A year after Aaron Rodgers leaves.
Yeah.
Kind of one of those things as we get to the next game coming up.
Yeah. Rams and Lions.
Again, there's the quarterback that left the Rams, the quarterback that went to the Lions, and y'all heard that they were going to ban the jerseys. They were going to ban the jerseys
They used to wear.
that they used to wear for Stafford. Like, you can't wear your Lions Stafford jersey and get in the stadium. Because, now he's an enemy, even though they're the ones that shipped him to L.A.
Speaking of Teddy.
So that's got to be the most interesting game on the charts for that. The Rams are the hottest team in the NFL.
That's a tough game, man.
No doubt.
That's a
Hottest
tough
team in
game
the
to
NFL. But kind of like Cleveland in the AFC, I believe in Detroit in the NFC. I like Detroit.
Yeah. Okay, well, last game, Eagles and Buccaneers. I would say this was a pretty easy one, but the Eagles have been not playing their best ball the last few weeks.
You are so nice. They'll take not playing their best ball.
Yeah.
They've stunk it up the last few weeks. It depends on their injuries. I think them playing on Monday is going to be a big advantage for Philly.
Mm-hmm.
That gives Jalen Hurd an extra day because we all know he's hurt. Yeah. We know that there's injuries there that they can't just expose. They've got some injuries at wide out too. I still like Philly. That should be an easy bet because I still don't think Tampa's all that, but Tampa gets to host because they were the division champs of the South.
Which I still hate that rule. I still think about the Saints having to go to Seattle.
I know,
in the run with Marshawn.
But it's just they're the South champs, so they get to host. Philly shouldn't have to be going there, but they put themselves in that position.
Yeah.
But this is the time now where Philly can get it together, and I can see Hurt. He's one of the best mental guys in the NFL.
Without a doubt.
So he's going to be prepared. And I think we're going to see a different Philly team the next few weeks. I like Philly a lot. There.
We'll know probably first quarter of this game if the Eagles have made the turn or if it's going to be more of the same.
That's right.
So,
I do. I love, out of all those best, I probably like Philly, which is scary on the road to the playoffs, but it's a better team on the road, in my opinion.
I think so, too. Well, man, we got to get Tim on here. I'm looking at our clock, but I appreciate you coming out as always.
I enjoyed it.
And we'll
enjoyed it.
We'll take a super quick break, and we'll have Tim in here with our picks of the week.
Picks of the week.
Right back.
Thank y'all.
Tis the season to win our 40 grand dashing into cash and $10,000 New Year, New Money grand prize. It's time to unwrap over $70,000 in winnings.
It's always a good time. Visit MagnoliaBluffsCasino.com.
All right, guys, we are back with our Take It to the Bank locks of the week. How are you, man?
Doing well, man. How are you?
Doing well. We got our man Tim Morrissey in the house. And Tim, I'm looking at the current standings after last week, and you have taken the lead.
All right, that's what I thought.
You are a half a game ahead of me, and 2 full games ahead of Joey. But here's where it gets interesting. So we've been picking 2 games every week. So what we're going to do from the playoffs, we're going to pick every game.
It is interesting to me that I finally take the lead. Now we're changing the rules. I mean, I will point out that.
Maybe this should be breaking it.
Oh, man. Well, let's just kind of dive in because we got 6 games to kind of go through. So let's what we'll do is we'll do one game at a time, and we'll go through and name our winners. First game, Houston Texans, Cleveland Browns. Browns are 2.5-point favorites. I'm going to take the Texans on that one.
I got the Browns.
You got the Browns? Okay.
Yeah.
Let's.
I've got the Browns as well, -2.5.
Okay. Any thoughts on that or any reasoning behind it?
Never any reason.
No.
I think Craig made some good points about this game, about Cleveland. Just kind of seems like they're nobody expecting them to be here, and they're just playing good ball. But Houston's also a great story, so I'm just going to go with Houston because I like the story and I like the quarterback.
Yeah, I think
coach.
For me, I was wavering back and forth, and Houston, from what I was seeing this morning, is out there talking more trash about how they're a Super Bowl team,
okay.
and it just
turns you off.
Yeah,
I got you.
Show up and play the game.
I got you. Okay, all right. Kansas City Chiefs, Miami Dolphins. What a first-round matchup.
Yeah.
Man. You don't see these in the first round very often.
Well, and I heard Craig talking a minute ago about the whole Peacock thing.
I changed my after he finished talking, I changed my pick on it.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
I was more talking about the fact that we won't even have it.
I know. I don't like that either, man. So I had the Dolphins originally on this, but he talked me out of it. The more he talks about the weather, and if it was anybody but Miami, and if it was any team built besides just speed, I would stick with it. But I'm like, man, everything's really going against Miami. So I switched over to Kansas City. So I'm going to take the Chiefs at 4.5.
Yeah, I've got the Chiefs.
You got the Chiefs too? Okay.
If it's allowed, I had the under 44. I was going to go with the totals. I think, with the weather and the defenses of these teams, I think it's going to be lower than 44.
Okay, I think that's a
smart.
That's a fair assessment on that. I think you got the under correct last week on the national championship game. Wasn't even particularly close. I mean, it was like
got kind of close at the end.
Yeah, squeaked by at the end. But
but I mean, you still won it by 8 or 9 points. So then we come down to the Buffalo and Pittsburgh. This is interesting. I was telling Craig, 10-point favorite. That's huge in the playoffs.
Yeah, it is. I was talking to Craig earlier. The line, to me, this is the game that I think is the most trap feeling. Right? You got 10-point favorite, but then you only have 36-point over/under. So it's like, well, if they're going to win by 10, they got to.
Yeah.
I've been all over the place on this game. The line just doesn't make sense.
I'm going with. I'm going to take Pittsburgh.
Okay.
I don't think Buffalo's going to cover by 10, and I'm not even sure they're going to win. Buffalo's not all that great, but I think they'll win, but I think it'll be by less than 10. So I'm gonna take Pittsburgh.
That being said, I got the Bills.
Do you? Okay.
Like I said, this game feels like a trap to me. I initially was looking at the over 36, but I've just seen this story play out too many times where, the guys in Vegas and sportsbook know what they're doing. So I'm riding with you, Ronnie. I'm taking the Steelers plus the points. I think this is probably one of those games where it ends up 3-7, 3-10, and
in Buffalo, I can only imagine what the weather's going to be like. That's one of my favorite places to watch ball. Whenever it's just snow going everywhere, and I'm like, oh, that looks miserable from my comfortable couch.
I don't know, man. Sunday it's gonna be a little.
Yeah, it may not be that, but it'll be comfortable on my couch.
Your fireplace working.
Yeah. And then we're gonna move on down to the Packers and Cowboys, the 1990s classic matchup. 7.5 point favorite for the Cowboys. I'm gonna I don't know, man. I'm gonna go with the Cowboys.
I got the Cowboys too.
Do you? Okay.
I'm going with the total again here. I'm going to take the under 50.5.
Under 50, okay. Let me make my notes here. 10 under. All right. That seems like pretty high. Yeah, I think that seems like pretty high spread. I mean, pretty high total. I think Craig said his thoughts on this. I don't know what he told you off air, but it made sense that he said, I think the Cowboys are either going to blow them out or lose the game.
Yeah.
That's how the Cowboys roll.
That's right.
And they'll be here one week, and everybody's like, man, they may be the greatest team ever.
Yeah.
And they'll lose to the Commanders the next week.
For our mutual friend, for a lot of our mutual friend, Willie,
Yeah.
Our buddy Fred Marcellus, I hope that Dallas doesn't lose this game.
Yeah.
They've got some hope this year. There's some excitement in the Dallas fans.
I'm rooting for them. I'm rooting for them. Just because of those guys.
That's right.
I don't know how far I'm going to root for them. I don't want them to win the whole thing, because then we got to hear that. There's a tipping point in there somewhere. Okay, so let's drop down to the Rams and the Lions. Lions are 3-point favorites here. The Rams are playing good ball, but I'm going to go with the Lions here.
Same here.
Same. Okay.
Same.
Everybody's going Lions. Okay.
So you know what that means.
So, without a doubt, if you're out there watching this, take
the other side. Take the other side.
If we all three say it, without a doubt, take the Rams.
That just
I can't wait to be sitting here next week. And our prediction is absolutely right. The Rams win this game outright.
Oh man, I might go bet on the Rams myself. And then lastly, the last game of the week is the Eagles and the Buccaneers. Eagles are a 3-point favorite, which is a little tricky because the Eagles have been playing pretty bad football. But I'm going to go with the Eagles on this.
Same here.
Okay.
Man, I got the same thing circled on my page. Eagles -3.
So if you want to make more money,
parlay those two.
That doesn't sound like he committed yet. Sounds like he's still thinking.
That's my problem. I don't think
He said it, but he didn't say it with conviction. So I'm gonna.
Well, I mean, because in the interest of
you need to phone a friend.
No, but in the interest of one of us winning, if we all pick the same games, then there's no chance for the leadership board to change. So I'm winning, but I have a hard time. I just can't come off the Eagle. I can't take the Buccaneers, so I'd have to go with total. And I didn't look into that, so I got to stick with it. I got to take the Eagles.
Okay. We got some differences.
We do
in there. We got 6 games. So
parlay of the week, 2-team. So what you're gonna do? Walk up to the counter. Say on my 2-team parlay, I'm gonna take Rams plus the points and Buccaneers plus the points.
Don't let Craig hear you say.
And
we need the opposite of the Joey, Tim, and Ron special. I see the food over there, but before we do, you want to say anything about coming out and watching the games here this weekend?
I'm going to make it easy for everybody. I'm going to tell Craig what the bet is, and we're just going to call it the Champion Spotlight Parlay. So you come in, Let them know you want the champion spotlight parlay. You're going to get the Rams +3, Buccaneers +3, and go completely against us.
That's
So
right.
come on down and watch the games this weekend. We'll have everything on. It'll be a fun weekend. We've got some new food specials I think these guys are going to try out.
Yeah, what's we've got? Is this chicken fried steak?
Chicken fried steak?
Chicken fried steak.
Country fried steak.
I always get confused on it. Country fried steak, which looks delicious.
Mashed potatoes. You got the greens.
You got the macaroni.
You got the macaroni and cheese. So
Yes,
this is a new menu item. We rolled out a new menu. I think it's going live today. It'll definitely be live by this weekend. Chefs put some new stuff on there. This is part of our comfort food section.
Okay. Who doesn't like comfort food?
And he's got a couple different items on there. All of them, you get your choice of 2 sides. And you can have mashed potatoes, you can have mac and cheese, you can have greens. We've also added a fried chicken option to the menu. I think 2-piece fried chicken. So we've taken some of the items that people weren't so keen on and took those off the menu, updated a little bit. One of the things I do want to highlight, we hear from a lot of people, we've got great food, right? We've got great bar food, sportsbook feel. We don't necessarily have the healthiest menu options.
Yeah.
Chef wanted to make sure to highlight that anything that is fried can also be grilled. So if you want a grilled chicken sandwich, you can do that. And we've also added salmon to the menu. So we've got a salmon meal now as well. So come on down.
Yeah.
Lots of new menu items to check out. And come see the games.
And I wanted to shout Chef out too and let you know that we had the stew last week, and I ate some of it, and Shannon was sweet enough to box it up with love, and for Melissa to go have some because I wanted her to try it. The next day she was still talking about it. She was like, that was good stuff. Oh, my goodness. So shout out to Chef.
She was always the smartest one, too.
Yeah, well, I don't know. I mean, she's with me, so I don't know how smart she is. But
Speaking of Melissa, this is a vest that she ordered me from her shop.
Nice.
Down at Mart 363.
Right.
So
nice
looking for men's clothes. Go check them out. Melissa, if they don't have your size, like is my problem sometimes, it's a special order for you.
That's right. That's right. And we appreciate you guys tuning in today. We appreciate all of our awesome partners, Magnolia Bluff Casino, Concordia Sentinel, all the awesome partners that you see on the screen. Without you guys, we couldn't do what we do. Enjoy these games this weekend. It's going to be a lot of fun watching all the games. Happy New Year still to everybody out there. God bless, and as always, have a champion day.
Hi, it's Shannon with Miss Lou Champion Spotlight. If you like what we're doing, be sure to follow, like, share, and even comment on all our content. Also, visit MissLouChampions.com to sign up for our newsletter and to receive other information, as well as the opportunity to receive some awesome prizes. Thank you, Miss Lou, for your continued support, and as always, have a champion day.